Number 1, Helicio from France, ridden by the 5 times French champion or champion of France, Cash Asmussen. 2 is Pilsudski, ridden by the oft champion of Ireland and winner twice of this great race, and second in his other ride, only his 4th ride in the race, Mick Kinnan. 3, Perdapio, ridden by the American star Gary Stevens. 4 is Shantou, carrying the 2nd colours of Sheikh Mohammed, and ridden by Gary Hind, riding in his first, like Gary Stevens, in his first King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes. And incidentally, 12 riders, no less, have won at their first attempt. 5 is Singspiel, carrying the first colours of Sheikh Mohammed, and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Frankie's 6th ride, he won it in '95 on Lamtara. 6 is the senior runner, Strategic Choice, a 6-year-old. No 6-year-old has ever won the race, ridden by Ray Cochran, his 7th ride in the race. 7 is Swain, carrying the 2nd colours of Godolphin. Perdapio carries the 1st colours, ridden by John Reed, who won it at his first attempt in 1978 on Ile de Bourbon. And 8 is Kingfisher Mill, ridden by Pat Edery, who also won it at his first attempt in 1975 on Grundy, and in '86 he won it again on Dancing Brave. Pat Edery and Kingfisher Mill, the only 3-year-old in the 8-runner lineup.
And the betting on the King George. Eliseo, a strongly backed favourite, particularly after the rain. He's really, really strong in the ring now. He's down to even money. Singspiel is 2nd best at 7-2. Pilsudski easy to back, surprisingly, because the rain will help him at 13-2. Kingfisher Mill backed from 12-1 down to 8-1. It's 11-1 Perdapio from 10. 14-1 Swain, 20-1 Shantou, and 66-1 Strategic Choice. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, amongst a packed crowd of racegoers today, with Her Majesty the Queen, and chatting there with Francois Duman, French national hunt trainer. The Queen Mother with Michael Oswald, the Queen's stud manager, and Her Majesty wearing her favoured powder blue. And Her Majesty the Queen, as always, enjoying the King George Day scene and talking to friends and guests. But these 7 colts in this 8 colts in this field today, they're the stallions of the future, and no one is more fascinated by that aspect of the race than Her Majesty. And she will have had a very good look at this colt. This is him, Eliseo, the son of Fairy King, the winner of 6 of his 8 races. But the fascinating thing is that this is only his 2nd race outside of France. The first was in Japan, where the ground was too firm for him at the end of November. So how has he travelled? Willie, how did he look to you in the paddock?
He's a very imposing sort of a horse. He's a big, long horse. What an when you get close to him, you realise how tall he is. He's athletic. Look how he's dragging his lad around there. He's enjoying himself. He looks very relaxed, and he is a very classy colt indeed.
Eliseo, the even money favourite, and the horse who threatened to be his market rival, but that's not going to happen now, is number 5, Singspiel, one of Michael Stour's 2 runners in the race. There's no doubt he's going to start favourite now, and this is Singspiel, his son of In the Wings. He's so tough, this horse. He's been superbly campaigned by Michael Stour. At 3, he was a horse who kept on getting beaten. At 4, he strengthened up, and he ended the year winning the Japan Cup. And at 5, he's perhaps better than ever, because he's never put up a better or more spectacular performance than in the Coronation Cup, which he won by a runaway 6 lengths.
A lovely type of horse. Of course, it is very hard to fault any of these horses because they are the best. They are all champions. And the only thing about this horse that I noticed was he's swishing his tail. I didn't actually like the way he's doing that. He keeps swishing his tail as if he's got flies on him. But he must have a lot of sweat underneath his legs, between his legs there. And that's not a very good sign. But, of course, we cannot question his courage because this horse is a fantastic animal. But that's the only thing he's doing wrong. And he was another who was walking around the pre-parade ring as if he was out for a pick of grass.
I saw him in his box the other day and he was fast asleep mid-morning. Wish I could do that. And his stable companion, Pilsudski, the horse I've said so often is my absolute favourite horse, bar one. And doesn't he look well as well? He looks in terrific form, and once again a horse who's at the peak of his powers now, because that performance in the Eclipse Stakes was certainly as good as anything he's ever achieved. Wonderful outlook, lovely head on him. Now a perfectly developed thoroughbred at the age of 5, trained to perfection.
Yes, well, he's trained by Michael Stout, of course. He's got a big chance in this race. Now he's another horse he's big, he's strong. You can see why that this horse has taken a few races to get him into peak fitness, because he's such a big, powerful horse, and he's got plenty of weight about him. You know, he's a heavy horse. There again, athletic, beautiful in every sense, a champion. You know, it's a sort of horse that you would love to have owned once in your lifetime, and here he is, lovely, majestic in fact, and big and powerful. And what more can you say about this fella? He'll like the ground as well. The ground is a little bit on the soft side, so he's going to like it. He's one of the horses that will definitely go on the ground.
6 to 1, he looks such a fantastic each way bet. He's sure to finish 4th, I'm afraid. Right, let's look at Prodapio, the Hardwick Stakes winner, representing Godolphin and ridden by the great American Gary Stevens, who's turned down rides at Del Mar today to come over to ride Prodapio. And a little bit earlier, I spoke to Gary. Well, Gary, welcome back. You've come a long way to ride in this race. Have you come for the horse or for the occasion?
Well, I've come for the horse. He's an improving horse right now. Obviously, it's as tough a company as you can keep. It's one of the best races that we've seen for a long, long time. I'm excited about being involved in the race. It should be very exciting. We beat Pilsudski last time, but he was a horse that probably needed a race the other day, and I feel that my horse is going to have to improve quite a bit today to be able to beat Helicio, Singspiel, Pilsudski, but he has the ability to do it, and Sheikh Mohammed was very intent on me coming over to ride the horse. He's been training very well, so we'll see what happens. The rain is not going to hurt my chances any. The going was very soft when he won his last race at the Royal Meeting, and so I'm happy to see this rain coming down right now.
You haven't had the best of flights over?
No, we had a near miss. We had the stop in Phoenix, Arizona, and as we were taxiing down the runway, just getting ready for liftoff, they shut the engines down, and we had engine failure in the #1 engine, and ended up spending the night in Phoenix, Arizona, and rerouting, and very nearly didn't make the trip over here. We had to really finagle on the computer to find the connections to get me over here, but I arrived at 6:30 this morning and got about 6 hours sleep on the flight over, so I feel good right now.
Gary Stevens, who just had 3 or 4 hours sleep this morning, so he'll be on top of his game. And Gary, one of the great riders in the world. Well, unusually, there's only one 3-year-old in this terrific battle between the generations. Older horses predominate this race. This is the one 3-year-old. He's Kingfisher Mill. He's a progressive horse. Some people feel he's as good a 3-year-old colt as there is in training. And certainly we know that he goes through the wet ground, because that's exactly what he did in the King Edward VII Stakes at the Royal Meeting. Pat Edry made every yard of the running on him that day, and well, he was pretty impressive that day.
Very impressive indeed, and of course he's got the same conditions today, so there's no reason for you know, sort of worrying about the ground with this fella. The ground is going to suit him. I did see him in the pre-parade ring there, and he is a little bit narrow in front. That's about the only thing you could fault him. He will be a lot stronger horse later on, but he looked pretty strong this day, and he won all that way. That was a good performance there.
The son of Riverman out of a New Zealand mare, and well, he's a striking-looking chestnut.
He's very tall, Wiz. Very tall. Very athletic.
He's quite lazy at home, funnily enough.
Oh, he's walking. All the horses, in fact, are all walking around the pre-parading as if they were just going out for the pick of grass. None of them seem to be worried at all. They're true champions, this lot.
They get more and more used, I think, to the noise, cacophony of a big race day. At present, the Ascot authorities are making an international announcement to welcome all of those from around the world who've come for this great race day. Swain, a horse who was trained in France by André Fabre and now trained by Saïd bin Suroor for the Godolphin team, and he's in good form. John Reed, the jockey, narrowly beaten by Chantou in the Princess of Wales Stakes at the July meeting.
Yeah, well, that was quite a good run. Another horse that possibly will be better for that run. They went a little bit slow that day, so I would think today's race, which I presume will be run a little bit faster, will suit him better. Another big, powerful horse. The only thing wrong I saw with this fella was he had a few spots on his back where the saddle goes. May mean nothing, but there was just a few little spots there that were sticking up and sort of making a mess of his lovely coat.
Well, he's one of four representing either Godolphin or Sheikh Mohammed in this race. And the Royal Party will have enjoyed hugely seeing these superbly prepared thoroughbreds. Imagine the Queen Mother going back to the grandstand. Colonel Sir Piers Ben-Goff with the Queen there in his last year as Her Majesty's representative at Ascot. And, well, they've seen a field to make your mouth water before what has been described as the race of the decade.
And that's the Queen Mother. She's not in her buggy today. She's doing the walking herself. That's very nice to see.
And now the parade for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, led by the favourite Elisio, the 5 times Group 1 winner of the Arc, winner of the Prix Lupin, the Prix Gannet, and twice winner of the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, ridden for the 2nd time in public today by Cash Asmussen. Following him, the horse that he beat in last year's Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, Pilsudski, winner of the Grosser Preis von Baden, the Breeders' Cup Turf, and most recently the Eclipse. Michael Cannan, the jockey on Pilsudski. Behind him, Predapio, representing Godolphin, one of the 2 non-Group 1 winners in the field, but he beat a Group 1 horse in the Hardwick Stakes. He beat Pilsudski, and Predapio has attracted Gary Stevens from 6,000 miles away. Chantou, another classic winner of the St. Leger, the Gran Premio di Milano, and the Gran Premio del Jockey Club. Gary Hines, the jockey on Chantou. Frankie Dettori was going to ride him, but eventually Sheikh Mohammed decreed that Frankie should ride his #1 contender, Singspiel. But Chantou is no-hoper. He's a classic winner. Singspiel, this great international champion, winner of the Coronation Cup, the Japan Cup, the Canadian International, the Dubai World Cup. He's tough as teak. He's ridden by one of the great jockeys in the world, and he's trained to perfection by the master, Michael Stout. The outsider of the field, Strategic Choice, but he's run well in this race 2 years ago. He's a Group 1 winner of the Gran Premio di Milano and also the Irish St. Leger, but the rain that's fallen wouldn't be in his favour. The outsider, the mount of Ray Cochrane, Strategic Choice. Swain in the 2nd colours of Godolphin, the mount of John Reed. winner of the Coronation Cup in '96 when he beat Singspiel, winner of the Grand Prix de Deauville, and a horse who certainly should play a prominent role, at least in the early stages of this race. And the 1-3-year-old in the race, Kingfisher Mill, the progressive winner of the King Edward VII Stakes, ridden by Pat Edery, in the colours of octogenarian Lord Howard de Walden, trained by Julius Cecil, looks a picture, and a horse that Pat Edery is very happy to be riding. Well, what a wonderful sight for a crowd of up to 35,000 people here on Diamond Day. And despite the rain, they've had everything. And above all, the wonderful joy of seeing Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who makes Lord Howard de Walden look like a spring chicken almost. And as always, talking to the racegoers and making herself what she's always been to all of her people, there, part of the scene, part of England. Well, the betting sensation is the short price on Eliseo. He's just eased fractionally from even money out to 11 to 10, but there have been fortunes for him in the ring since the rain came and since the professional opinion has developed and become known. Singspiel eases to 4 to 1. Pilsudski returns from 13 to 2 to 6 to 1. Kingfisher Mill, the gamble on him sustained, down to 8 to 1. 12 to 1 Prodapio, 14 to 1 Swain, 16 to 1 from 20 is Chantou, and 66 to 1 Strategic Choice. But this is the horse with the form in the book, with the achievements seen by all. And there's no doubt that the best performance put up by any of these horses on any day was Eliseo's spectacular win from Pilsudski in last year's Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. He kicked on early in the straight, Olivier Pellier. In second place, Pilsudski tried to go with him, but Willie, from here on in, it was just one-way traffic.
It was a one-horse race. They allowed this horse in the Arc this day. They didn't go that fast to dictate. And, of course, when he was going absolutely super. He's such a free-running horse. They left him alone, furlong from home. And there you are. There's it. He's given some celebrations a long way before he got to the winning post. A very, very good horse indeed, especially when they leave him alone.
Now, the big question today, Willie, is will there be team tactics in this race? Because there are 4 Godolphin horses and Sheikh Mohammed horses. But we'll talk about that again in a moment, because we're looking at Pilsudski here. And Pilsudski, of course, has never stopped to progress. It looks hard to imagine him beating Eliseo from what we've just seen. But, of course, then Pilsudski went to Canada to gain a brilliant triumph in the Breeders' Cup turf.
They're coming down toward the final furlong marker. Singspiel is in front. Pilsudski to the attack with the furlong to go. Down toward the inside, it's Swain. They're coming inside the final 16th now. Pilsudski at the throw edge of Singspiel. Pilsudski takes the lead in the shadow of the wire. Pilsudski is the winner by a length. Singspiel was second. Swain was third.
Pilsudski and Walter Swinburne beating Singspiel, Chantou and Swain. But this is the favourite, and Willie, big question with these 4 Mohammed Godolphin horses. Do you think there'll be team tactics in the race?
I don't know if there'll be team tactics, but there's certainly going to be somebody that I would think would definitely not give this horse a free run. They mustn't allow this to give him a free run. Now he's this ducking there. He did that coming into the big paddock just now. Now, I would think that somebody's going to have to take him on, not to allow him to be able to dictate, because if they allow this horse to dictate, he's going to win. There is no question of that. So I'm sure that somebody from the Arab team possibly will take him on and just make it a little bit more difficult for him. I wouldn't say it'll be messing tactics, but I would imagine somebody who's going to, well, might be Swain, I would think would be the favourite, to jump out and just go along at a good pace and not allow this horse to relax in front. Just not to give things him his own way. And I'm sure that it'll be Swain that will do this.
And the other big question, Willie, is do you think now the rain's fallen, there's a question that they might go down the far rails and under the trees?
I would say I would think the jockeys have thought about it, and I would say it'd be 50-50 whether they do it. But I would imagine that they will think about going across there, because the ground is definitely faster under those trees. We all know that because of the past. And, well, you can see where the tracks are, where the starter's car and the stalls keep using that track, and they compound the ground there, and the grass is flattened as well. So the ground is a lot quicker there. So I would imagine they're going to do that.
So a fascinating race in prospect. We now join our senior commentator for the last time in the King George, Sir Peter O'Sullivan.
And this is the horse himself, Alessio. Although he's winner of 8 of his 10 races, including an Arc de Triomphe, this is his biggest test yet. He's going to set off from stall 2 under Cash Asmussen. Going in is Chantou, Gary Hind having his first ride. He's got Pat Edery close to him on Kingfisher Mill. This is Strategic Choice, bidding to become the first 6-year-old to win. Alessio goes in. That's Perdapio nearest to us. This is Pilsudski. And just one left to go now. And that's it. They're all installed. They're under orders. And they're away. And who's going to make the early running? Pilsudski is up there early on. Pilsudski now overtaken by Alessio. And Alessio's gone on. Alessio going on from Swain in second, then comes Kingfisher Mill, then Pilsudski on the inside, and then Sing Spiel. And Perdapio has been dropped back to last by Gary Stevens, and Cash Asmussen is going to ensure a blazing pace. Kingfisher Mill has gone up now to almost join him, and in fact he's taken it up. He's run a little bit wide there, Pat, looking for the better ground, and Kingfisher Mill has taken it off Alessio, just checked slightly now by Cash Asmussen. Then in third is Swain, 4 is Pilsudski moving up on the inside. Just in behind them comes Strategic Choice and Chantou towards the outside. Still the back marker is Perdapio, and Kingfisher Mill, the only 3-year-old in the race under Pat Edery, is the leader from Alessio. Then comes Swain, then towards the outside is Chantou, on the inside is Sing Spiel. Then come Pilsudski, making ground on the inner. Towards the far side as we see them now is Perdapio, but they're coming over under the trees, and it's still Pat Edery taking him along on the 3-year-old. They pass the 6 marker there, but he's gone up to join him again, Alessio, and Alessio just shading Kingfisher Mill now. These two really having a ding-dong upsides. In third is Pilsudski, travelling well. Over on the far side is Swain, the rider with the white cap. Just in behind them, Sing Spiel. Just in behind Sing Spiel comes Chantou. Perdapio, one of the back markers with Strategic Choice, and now it's Alessio who has taken it up as they race towards the home turn. Alessio, the leader from Swain, is in second. Pilsudski third on the far rail. Making ground from the rear now is Chantou, but on the inside it's Sing Spiel who's fourth, and it's Alessio the leader. Alessio from Swain as they race towards the 3-furlong marker. Alessio's under pressure. Swain has come to tackle him. Sing Spiel's coming there on the outside. Pilsudski's joining in it too. They're racing now towards the furlong marker, and as they do so, it's Swain over on the far rail. Sing Spiel coming there. Alessio is beat. Swain is the leader as they race into the closing stages. It's Swain from Pilsudski in second. Sing Spiel is third. It's Swain holding Pilsudski as they race up towards the line. Swain and Pilsudski in a nail-biting finish. Swain is going to win it at the line. Swain is the winner, Pilsudski in second, Elisio in third, Singspiel 4, 5 came Chantu, 6 was Strategic Choice, then Predapio, and Kingfisher Mill, believe it or not, finished last of the 8 runners. And so the result of the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes of 1997 is first, number 7, Swain, owned by the Godolphin stable, trained by Saeed bin Surur, who won it in 95 with Lamtara, and ridden by John Reed. Second was number 2, Pilsudski, owned by Lord Weinstock, trained by Michael Stout and ridden by Michael Canan. And third was number 1, the French champion, Elisio, owned by Mr. Enrique Sarasola, trained by Elie Lelouch and ridden by Cash Asmussen. Fourth was number 5, Singspiel. The first 3 finished in the reverse order in the Arc de Triomphe. What a joyous day for John Reed, who won it on his first ride in 1978 on Ile de Bourbon. He's won the Diamonds this afternoon.
Well, an extraordinary race and of changing fortunes. Elisio turning in, seemed to be cruising, but Swain's gone past him just like that, left him for dead, it seemed. Pilsudski loomed up with a chance there. For a moment, Singspiel on the outside. Frankie Dettori looked as though he'd win, but he falters in about 100 yards' time. Now Singspiel starts to run on again. 3 with a chance here of winning, and here, as Frankie goes for everything, his horse just falters there. It pulls his whip through the left hand. Singspiel's got no more to give. Swain's back in front again. Pilsudski's the danger now, but Swain's full of heart.
Swain, it's a grueling race this has been today, and it was just strength that has won the day. When you get to the furlong and a half, it looked as though Elisio was going to drop away, but he's in fact ended up running on again. He's such a good horse. But Swain, who came there always in the first 3 there, and he came and took it up at the 2 furlong marker, and he just was strong enough to withhold the challenge of Pilsudski. Now Pilsudski looked as though he was going to come and win at the furlong pole, but unfortunately he just got tired, and it was such a grueling race for them.
So John Reed returns on this son of Nashwan, who won this race himself in 1989 out of Love Smitten by Key to the Mint. Winner of 8 of his 14 races now, after a tremendously gutsy finish in this arduous ground, and a victory which the bookmakers will not view with any dismay. A 16-to-1 chance, one of the longest price winners of the race. The longest price winner was the 20-to-1 of Monteval in 57, but this horse is the second longest price winner in the 47-year history of this great prize. John Reed having his 6th ride in the race, making that his 62nd winner of the season. And he gets Saeed bin Surur, his trainer, off the 13 mark for the season. And what a race in which to do that. And it didn't look as though there were any excuses whatsoever for beaten horses. A wonderful game effort by Pilsudski. Elisio ran on well, but he was clearly beaten on merit. Congratulations there for Saeed bin Surur, just the far side of the horse's head there, just giving him a pat. And John Reed posing for photographs. The starting prices on the 1997 King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes as follows.
The winner, number 7, Swain, at 16-to-1. Second, number 2, Pilsudski, 6-to-1. And third, number 1, Elisio, the 11-to-10 favourite. So 19 years after his first success in this race on Ile de Bourbon, John Reed wins his 2nd Diamond Prize with a magnificent classic ride, terrific strength in the saddle, assisted by a heroic partner who once upon a time it was suggested wouldn't be helped by ease in the ground, but he battled through the ground today to win in a time of 2 minutes 36.5 seconds, 45 seconds, and that's 10 seconds almost below the record. Here's Jonathan Powell.
With me, Sheikh Mohammed, the driving horse behind Godolphin, and what an extraordinary result this was for your horses.
Oh, it's a great result, really, great result, and especially for this horse, you know. He'd been around and he did everything he wanted to ask. But his last work was really pleasing. He really went, and he's just right on.
Swain is the longest price winner of this race. You ran 4 in one disguise or another. Which one did you think of your 4 would win?
Well, really, I thought before the rain, I thought Singsfield, you know, and then if one of us will win, that one will win. But of course, that one, because of the rain, he lost his chance, and we know this Swain loved this ground, and he's just right on.
And he was ridden very positively, and he was up there the whole way, took on Alicio, went on early in the straight. Must have seemed a very long last 2.5 furlongs for you and the jockey.
Especially watching it, you know, where is the line? Yes, that's right.
And this horse was trained in France last season. Why did you decide to bring him over here to join Godolphin?
Well, he raced with Fab, and then, you know, when he's 4 or 5 years old, we took him to Dubai and, you know, nursed him, and he's just a good horse to race. I mean, he always raced well in his races, and he deserved to come and win this race.
We've been showing the Arc time and again, and of course Swain finished a long way behind Alicio in last year's Arc. Did you, in your heart of hearts, believe he could beat him today?
No, we really, no, you don't know, but you have to go at these races, otherwise you will not know if you can do it or not. If you just go away from these races, you will not know your horses. If they are well enough and they are healthy, you should go to these races.
And racing, of course, benefits greatly. You're keeping a lot of older horses in training. 2 of your runners today were 5, 2 were 4. Might some of them stay in training next season?
Well, I can't say anything now until the end of the season and see how they are. You know, if they're still enjoying it, they might stay. If they don't, then they retire.
And of course, you had the same sort of weather in the Dubai World Cup, and you had the right horse one there.
Race, yes, we saw just the same weather here in Dubai. Yeah.
This, you got Swain. Now, where will you go with him? Might he go to the Arc and then on to the Breeders' Cup?
I think so. You know, the obvious one is the Arc now, and to go there and have a rematch again, and then go to the Breeders' Cup. Yeah.
And you've been in this position before, having won this great race with Lamtara most recently.
Yes.
Is it the best race of all in England to win?
Well, I think this year is a good. You know, you've got the good horses in the race. The horses who make the race, not the race itself. If you have a good race with no good horses, that doesn't mean a good race. When you gather these horses together in one race, that's a good race. Yeah.
And what about you now? You've got so many good horses in one guise or another. As I say, Godolphin has done very well with the older horses. Are you now hoping the 2-year-olds will come through in strength?
Yes, we hope. We started with the 2 years old now this year, and you know, we're hoping that some of them will come.
You won, as I say, the Dubai World Cup at home. You won this race. Which of the 2 was the best result this year for you?
Well, I think the World Cup in Dubai was special, you know, because everybody come from there, and this is also special because a good horses, you know, from a global race winners came together, and this one also the same.
And let's not forget, sort of halfway through May, Godolphin's horses were in terrible form. You seemed to have a problem. You stopped them running for a while. Did you think then perhaps that your season was over and that you had missed your chances of winning decent races this year?
Well, sir, I mean, if you lose 3 months of the season, you lost a lot of time, you know, and when your horses are right, now they're becoming right, and we hope for the better.
Thank you very much for
talking
to us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, a great triumph for Sheikh Mohammed. But there you are. He had 4 runners, and of the 4, that was certainly the 3rd or perhaps 4th seed amongst them. But he's come good on the day. He's the winner of the race they were calling the race of the decade. And what scalps? Pilsudski, Alicio and Singspiel. Up till now regarded as the 3 best 1.5-mile horses in the world. Well, John Reed's a hugely popular jockey, and Willie, you felt that he won it by kicking for home.
Well, the horse that got the first run seemed to have won the day, because this is, you know, it was a grueling race. The ground is slow. They've run 10 seconds slower than normal, so it is a grueling race. And all these horses were out on their feet a furlong from home, and he was in front, and all he had to do, John, was to keep his horse there, which he's doing effectively there. You know, he has to keep the horse whacking him just to keep the horse going. You know, when you're hitting a horse, you're not making him go faster. All you're doing is keeping him going the same speed.
Well, a great moment, and a moment that John Reid will remember for a long, long time, the day he won perhaps one of the great King Georges of all time. And I'm pleased now to show John weighing in, a moment of exultation. You can just see it radiating. The presentation to take place in just a few moments, the wonderful diamond prizes. But first, it's my pleasure to welcome the winning jockey, John Reid. Well, John, many, many congratulations. What a race.
Fantastic race, Julian. It's the race of the century, and I can't believe I've won it. I'm absolutely delighted.
Well, now, what was your battle plan before you went out?
Well, they didn't really tie us down to orders. He said, the horse is in great form. He said, do as you want. And I said, I'd be happy to bounce them out, and I think they'll go outside. And I want to be up there rolling along, because I didn't want to be riding for speed from behind. There's too many horses there with too much speed. So I just let them bowl. Pat and Alicia have taken it off me, but we were rolling pretty quick, and I was quite happy just to sit behind Pat. And he gave me a nice lead until he cracked just before the turn. And from there, I knew he was strong, and I let him go, you know, and they had to come and catch me. But he's a very tough horse. He ran all the way to the line. We weren't going.
Several challenges to contend with.
Yeah, they were all coming, but he just kept pulling out a bit. Every time I've asked him, he's found a little bit. He's a very tough horse.
Did Frankie actually head you on the outside?
No, he never got to me. No, he never got to me. He was always at least half a length down on me. But this horse is a battler, and he just kept fighting all the way to the line. Fantastic.
And Alicia, who you went past early in the straight, he's coming back again at the death.
Yeah, he's run on a little bit there, but I knew once I went past him in the straight, he wasn't really going to be in the fight, you know. And this horse is very tough. I see Mick has come there and pulled Sudsky. I wasn't too aware he was coming. Just
well, it's a famous day, and you've got a diamond to take home.
Yeah, couldn't be happier.
John, many congratulations.
Thank you.
This a race which Her Majesty won 43 years ago with Oriel, and for which she presents her own personal trophy, a piece of plate as it's officially described, value £3,000. You'll have to put the value because it's included in any penalties involved in race winning, and Her Majesty presents her own trophy to Sheikh Mohammed, and also the winning owner receives De Beers a magnificent pair of silver and diamond stirrup cups set with over 6 carats of brilliant cut diamonds, designed by Jacqueline Mina of London. For the winning jockey, there's a sterling silver fob watch, but first the successful trainer Saeed bin Sarur, who receives a dramatic bar brooch featuring inlay work with stripes and spots of jockey's silks, designed by Joanne Thompson of London. The brooch has been set with 2 trilliant diamonds, each weighing 33 points in 18-carat yellow gold. The second time that Saeed bin Sarur has won this great prize. The last time, of course, 95 with Lantara. And the winning jockey, John Reid, Vice President of the Jockeys Association of Great Britain, receives a sterling silver fob watch with red enamel details set with brilliant diamonds and 4 small brilliants. A most elegant design. And John's second trophy in this great race, which he won at his first attempt in 1978 for the chairman of the sponsoring group, Sir Philip Oppenheimer, in 1978, Ile de Bourbon. A day that Her Majesty always views with infinite pleasure, seeing this marriage between the finest in 2 spheres, brilliance and bloodstock.
Well, a famous race. We talked about it for days and weeks beforehand, and in the end it unfolded in a way that none of us anticipated. Cash Asmussen sadly has to catch a plane, and we've got no quote from him, but there didn't seem any obvious excuse. But there was more than one hero today, and I'm pleased to welcome now the jockey of another of the heroes, Pilsudski, the runner-up, Mick Cannan. Well, Mick, how did it go for you?
Yeah, it went good. My fella's done everything right, and he just got into a bit of a slog, and it just dragged it out of him a bit. And he loves a little ease, but he doesn't want it too soft, because he gets a mile and a half, but that's as far as he goes. And it just dragged the speed out of him a bit.
Turning into the straight, it changed so quickly. Cash seemed to be travelling really well on Alicia, and then you've all gone past him quite quickly.
Yeah, he was free enough with Cash running down the bottom when Pat and wanted to take him on, and he just wasn't really just that settled in front, and we were going a good gallop, so maybe he just found him out a bit, that he didn't quite settle as well in front as he might have.
Well, this was the point of the race, down the back and turning in. And, well, you're sitting on the heels of Cash there. John Reid goes for home, and, well, as you say, from now on it's a battle, isn't it?
Yeah, I was very happy turning for home. I thought I'd win, and then once I levelled out, John went and found a bit, and when I had to just go and find the extra length to go and pick John up, I knew I was suddenly struggling a bit, and John had us most of the time, and I had a glimmer of hope going inside the final furlong. I got to his gap, and I thought maybe my fella, when I got to his gap, might just find a bit more courage. But he was finding it a bit tough, and John's horse just outstayed us on this ground. He enjoyed it and just really outstayed us.
Everyone was praying for rain for your horse all week, but I mean, in the end, perhaps the cake was almost over-egged, wasn't it?
Yeah, it probably it was my undoing probably in the finish. I was happy with the ground yesterday. He's a heavy top horse, but it just put the onus on that out-and-out stamina, and it probably just found me out a little bit today.
But a famous race, though.
Oh, it was great, and we went a good pace, and there was nowhere to hide. Whatever one had to stick it out and had to answer the calls.
Michael, thank you. That's Michael Cannan, and a wonderful race for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes, won by the outsider, Swain.